Welcome to our podcast. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about opportunity windows opening up and how you can take advantage of them. We're also going to be talking about taking the next step, entering that vibratory plane in which you can go to another level. I'm Han, and this is my guest.
I'm Kelly.
Well, I guess she's not my guest. See, sometimes we just mess this thing up. My co-host and lovely wife, Kelly.
Permanent guest.
Exactly. I couldn't get rid of her if I wanted to. So literally, I was dying in my past life and she was right there.
I greeted him in the afterlife.
Yeah. And I was laughing. I'm like, even in death, I couldn't escape you. But it was crazy because, you know, the way you look, it was so beautiful, light flowing, everything. The hair, it was crazy. I've never seen a spirit look quite like that. But anyways, so what's been going on, Kelly?
We are just
you don't be a robot. Just talk normal. Just what's going on. And you're someone asked you that question in real life, you wouldn't sit there. We are just oh my gosh. And guys, just so you know, we like to mess around and like joke around. So everything I say, like 90% is like a joke and I'm messing around. So don't think I'm bullying or being mean to Kelly. We're just laughing around.
Sorry, we have a window where people can see us. So.
What's going on though, Kelly?
Well, I mean, personally in our lives we got a lot of things going on right now where we're at.
They can't see the window.
I know. So personally in our lives, we're on a verge of a lot of things. And like, it's like a verge that has really been building and building over the past months, weeks, even years. But it's like even getting more to that critical point where like so many things are literally about to shoot like the arrow from a bow and arrow. Like it's really, really tensing up now. And a lot of big changes and evolutions are headed our way. And I can feel it too. And I've been getting a lot of messages about it's time to leave all remnants of the past behind, to have a true full transformation into a new being, like a real phoenix rising. And some things have been coming up, just little nitpicking things are some of the last little things that I kind of need to get over to truly have a permanently high vibration like I've never even imagined for myself. So that's part of the journey.
Yeah, because I talk to Kelly all the time and I tell myself, we're always constantly working on ourselves. So I truly believe that God is leading me in everything that I do. And how I can change, and you can use your vibratory plane as a barometer. I can read vibrations. So I know if my vibration is low or high. If I'm doing something that's making my vibration low, I know that I don't need to do it. If I'm doing something and my vibration is high, then I know that I'm being led by God to do that. So that's with everybody. If you're getting upset or you're getting angry or you're feeling fearful or you feel any kind of low vibratory energy, you know that that's something you need to work on. And it's something that I work on every day because some days I feel myself feeling fearful about the future, feeling fearful about things that are happening, about change, and you just have to sit there and really just lock in. And that's where reading and going back to your studies and like how we've been studying and listening to the Course of Miracles. I'm about 4.5, 5 hours left of the entire 37-hour audiobook. So I'm really just taking it all in, and it really helps you and puts things in perspective, because once you just really realize like, okay, I shouldn't be feeling any fear about anything. That's crazy. If I'm feeling fear, if I'm feeling hate or any negativity, that's crazy, because we're all sons of God. We're all one. And the only thing that really matters is love. I remember whenever I had an experience with psychedelics when I was younger, and I really felt like love was the only thing that matters. And it sounds corny. It sounds just something that people say. It's cliche, something that people just say over and over again without really thinking about it. But it actually is the truth, because once you truly think about it, love really is the only thing that matters. But so many people are going through different phases and different things in their life where there's too many distractions, whether they're watching the news or whatever it may be. There's going to be distraction in your life where you're going to get distracted. And if you just keep that core of feeling love for yourself first, and then that love for yourself will emanate onto everybody at all times.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of those cliche things, but the more you really delve into that path and really start raising your vibration and truly becoming more and more and more aligned with God, it really is so true. Like, and the Course in Miracles, truly everyone should, I mean, I know reading the book is long, but at least listen to the audiobook. Just putting all that hours of wisdom into your brain will truly, totally rewire it, have you closer with God, have you in a way better relationship with yourself in life, and just have a way better perspective on life, because you're just listening to, you're like, oh wow, that's true. Oh wow, valid. Oh wow, that's facts right there. Like, it's just so good. Sure. And it just, it's like, you can't deny it. So mm-hmm.
It explained it so good. And whenever I read stuff in the Course of Miracles, I'm a very simple man. People don't understand how simple I am. I'll read something that says you shouldn't have fear, and I'm like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have fear. I don't have it anymore. Oh, you should love yourself and your brothers like yourself. Oh, okay, cool. And then that's just how I operate. But a lot of other people, they think too many thoughts. That's why in the last podcast, I was saying you should examine the thoughts that you're thinking and know what you're thinking, because once you know what you're thinking, then you can truly just think about it, obviously, but then you can examine it and have an introspective moment within yourself to say, these are belief systems that I don't believe in, that have been brought upon me, that have been given to me by somebody else. And you can let go and separate. Now, whenever I'm saying all this stuff about loving your enemy, loving people that hurt you, Kelly knows from experience, I love people that I do not like at all. At all. And a lot of times you have to put your ego to the side and just put out that love and stop saying this person is my enemy. They did something to me. You have to think about it in the reality of the situation. And in the reality that I believe in my mental framework is that everything happens for a reason, and everybody that's in your life is in your life for a reason, or they were in your life for a reason, and they're just playing a role. You can't look at them as this person is my enemy. They did this to me. They or whatever. No, you can't look at it like that. You have to think they're playing a role to help me. And every single time I think about one of these people, I do realize this helped me grow immensely, because I wouldn't be the same person without this experience. So that's what I'm talking about whenever I talk about opportunity windows. Everything is an opportunity window where you have to truly listen and think, what is the opportunity that I'm getting from this? Why is this in my life right now? What am I here to learn? And then once you learn it, then it's no longer there anymore. It's gone completely and utterly. Once you let go and realize this is an opportunity window, then you take on the challenge. That is what God likes. That is what God wants. He wants you to take on a challenge and sit there and use that opportunity window to grow, because he doesn't like stagnation. God doesn't want you to be stagnant. God wants you to be growing. He wants you to be expanding. He wants you to come on earth to do what you know to do, because from his perspective, it's funny. He's laughing. This is what you're upset about. You're upset about this. This is crazy. Because God knows how big you are, how great you are. So to be upset about small, stupid things that don't even make sense is laughable. It really is. And we've all been there.
Yeah. So an opportunity window is essentially when things line up for a certain place, a certain time, certain people at the certain time, and it unlocks. It has to happen at a particular time. That's why it's opportunity window. It's essentially a permission slip, like we talked about before. It's just something that exists that is kind of like a hall pass to allow you to elevate spiritually. You don't need it. You can elevate spiritually without it. And you can also elevate spiritually through another method. But all of these methods exist essentially as a permission slip for you to elevate to that level. And that's what an opportunity window is. And it's just on our timeline of time as we see it, certain things line up. And if we get over this thing going on, or can see past it in a more evolved way, more from our higher mind, more leveled up, then we will grow. And it'll most likely allow you to grow in a
in a harmonious way. Not only will you grow,
in a more farther way. So for example, like say you're doing everything the same, the opportunity didn't come up over a year's time, you would grow. But if you do everything right with the opportunity window, say you grow 3 years within that time.
Yeah. So let's say you do it in 2 months and you grow 3 years in that 2 months.
Right.
So because you've worked on yourself that much. Because a lot of people aren't working on themselves. Some people are taking small incremental steps towards working on themselves, but it could take someone 20 years to work on themselves, 15 years to work on themselves. And instead, when something comes up just like that, you have the opportunity to work on it right now, or you can put it off. You can grow years in time right now, or you can put it off. So that's what happens to a lot of people whenever they take edibles, or whenever they take a psychedelic drug. Whatever that problem is comes to the forefront of their mind, and they can't hide it anymore. They have to work through it right in that moment because it won't let you not see it anymore. So at first it's scary and it's fearful, but every single time you work through it, you're going to experience a different level of change.
Yeah, because once you truly start seeing everything through the lens of love, there's really nothing left to have bad feelings and emotions for. So whenever you perceive something as like an attack or something bad to you, that's always through the lens of the ego. Only the ego perceives things as attack or enemies or all these things.
Exactly. You're so right.
But you have the capability to view things as through the lens of love instead of through the lens of the ego, which is creating all these false perceptions. And like Han said, as a cliche as it is, truly all that matters is love. And when you are in the vibration of love and are seeing that through every single thing that happens, that is when you are truly free. I think that is the Dharma that they are talking about in Buddhism. It's the ultimate freedom. It's the ultimate way to live because nothing is going to lower you. Nothing's going to detach you from thinking with God. And like the Course in Miracles says, how would God have me think about this? How would God have me act to this? So most of these things, if we're getting upset, deep down, this is not how God would have me see it. This is not how God would have me act, upon this thing. And the way God would have us see it is through the love.
Well, that's why you have to see things from a higher perspective. If you're constantly in your own physical mind, if you're constantly thinking in your physical mind and your ego mind, then it won't allow you to see higher than it. Because it doesn't want you to see higher than it, because your ego is fearful. Your ego is fearful that it's going to be destroyed. But you can reassure your ego, listen, you're here now, so you exist always. You're not going to be destroyed. So once you have that reassurance within your mind, then it can relax and go away. So if you're having trouble with your ego, you can reassure it and send love to your ego. Because as Kelly said, love is the only thing that matters. And your ego perceives things as an attack. That was so beautifully said whenever you said that, because it's absolutely true. So if you're feeling like you're being attacked, that is your ego. You are in control of your life and how you feel and your perceptions and your realities, and don't let anyone or anything else tell you otherwise. And once you get to that point, then you can truly make a change and a difference within yourself. But as Kelly said, and I said, there are different opportunity windows where you can grow significantly in a short amount of time. So now that these opportunity windows are open, how are you going to take the next step? Now, yesterday we do these podcasts a week in advance. Sometimes they're quicker, sometimes they're longer. But this one particularly was recorded on 1-2-4. Yesterday was 1-2-3. And if you listen to all of our podcasts, you would know that I went over angel numbers and explained what they mean. Now, 1-2-3 means it's time to take the next step. As you can see, each number incrementally increases by 1, and they're in order 1, 2, 3. So yesterday was 1, 2, 3, 2, 4. Now, what this means is you're going up, you're going up. Now, even sometimes you're 1, to 3, 2, then you jump to 4. Because sometimes you might think you took a step back, but once you go through it, then you're going to take and jump 2 steps forward. So a lot of times, if you have a tiny setback, don't be upset at yourself. Don't worry about it, because this is natural. This is in the natural state of progression. This is all synchronistic and harmonious. As long as you're progressing and you know what you need to do to get through it, then everything will be fine. So taking the next step, what kind of things do we have to do? Well, number one, you have to recognize the opportunity window. Now, this sounds easier than it is, but it depends on your vibratory plane. If you're a simple man like me, this will be very easy for you. If you're an overthinker and an overcomplicated person, then this may be more difficult for you, but it doesn't have to be. Now, anytime you get angry, anytime you're low vibrational, recognize it as an opportunity window. Don't recognize it as I'm angry because this happened to me, and don't let your ego take control. Recognize this is an opportunity window to change now, because you have to realize every instant in time, you're choosing who and what you want to be. So if you're angry now, you don't have to be angry forever. You can be loving in that moment, in that next moment. If you have an attitude, you can decide, I'm going to stop in this moment and I'm going to be happy right now.
Yeah. So a good way to recognize like an actual opportunity window that is meant to help you advance quickly and in a massive amount is it's probably going to be the same type of thing showing up. And you can recognize it's overall the same type of problem that keeps showing up. So it's meant, and it's going to feel hard. It's going to feel like something you want to resist. It's going to feel like something you don't want to do. But if you do it, you are going to grow so much. And that's for anything, honestly, negative that happens to us. Anytime we drop our vibration, it's actually really, really good, because it gives us the opportunity to recognize it and say, and see it and say, I did that and I never want to do it again. And when you drop it, you can permanently drop it once you get out of it and never go back there. So it's probably going to look like the same kind of issue that keeps coming up. You're going to want to resist it. You're going to want to push back. You're going to want to keep thinking the way you think about it, because this is getting into real rewiring of your brain. Really, really deep level rewiring, changing the way you think. You've thought about something your whole life. And it's shifting the paradigm of this thing, because it's not actually aligned with you. It's actually not serving you, even though you think it is, because it feels comfortable. It's serving the ego because you're comfortable there. But
you shouldn't be comfortable.
Exactly. So,
and also, as Kelly said, once you realize what it is, then it's time to explore. Then it's time to go on a little journey, a little trip. Explore that thought, explore that thing that is bothering you. Well, why is this bothering me? And keep asking yourself question after question. Okay, well, it's bothering me because of this. Why is that bothering me? Oh, it's bothering me because deep down, I don't think I'm deserving. Why don't I think I'm deserving? Because I did something bad one time. Why did I do that? Because I had low self-respect. Why did I have low self-respect? Because I didn't love myself. Keep going and asking yourself question after question. And trust me, the more questions you ask, the more things that you'll get. You might just get 2 things. You might just get 1. You might get 10 things and say, whoa, this is all because of these 10 things, but it all roots back to this moment or this time or this main reasoning. And then you can work from the bottom on up. And then once you start working from the bottom up, these things will start to unravel, and then they won't exist anymore. And then you'll become a new person in time. But it's important, very important, to just work your way from the bottom up and ask yourself the questions and explore. This doesn't have to be a low vibratory, a sad, or any process that's going to be distressing at all. This doesn't have to be a distressing process. This is basically shadow work, where you're just truly getting over and the things that are hurting you, that maybe the trauma that's in your life, so that you can progress and grow and become that person that doesn't have that anymore. Because once you become the person that doesn't have the trauma, you become the person that has never had it. So that's whenever I talk about healing and tell people how to heal, you actually never acknowledge the sickness within you that Kelly was talking about in a previous episode. You never recognize the sickness within you, because if you recognize it, then you become someone who is sick. If you never recognize the sickness within you, then you have never been a person who is sick. So the more and more you continue down that path, the more it'll reflect that, the more people will see that.
Yeah. And if someone that you know in your life is sick or, you know, has something like that going on with their health, the best thing you can do to help them is to not even really recognize it. Yeah. Just only wish upon them good. Say, you know, you're strong, sending you healing energy. Like, just, you don't even need to recognize that. And then recognize what they truly are, a strong person. They can get through anything. And just fill them with encouragement and positivity. Recognize
them as an infinite being. And one thing I wanted to say too is, whenever you're going through this process, whenever you're really aligning and changing your self-image and how people view you and how you view yourself, things are going to come up that represent the past, that represent the old version of you, or the version of you that people may think you are. You're not even that person anymore. You may not even be that person, but other people may see you in that way. And why this is happening is because this is the mirror concept. What this is doing is, when people are seeing you in that way, basically is giving you another opportunity window. This is something that we keep coming up and talking about. This is giving you a window to decide, do I really want this?
Yeah.
So if you're healing, it's going to give you an opportunity. Hey, this is another pathway that you could take. Do I really want it? You could get this surgery, or you could just heal. Which one do you want to take? And I'm not saying to not do a surgery or anything. It really depends on the person. So
depends on the situation.
You have to be, you should listen to your doctors, but also trust yourself and trust God. So there's a fine line between those things, but I'm just using this as an example. So every situation is hyper specific. So take what I'm saying as just an example.
Yeah. So you'll go through the opportunity window, but you'll also pass by the mirror, which is something will come up. Yeah. Reflection of the past that you're trying to get past, because we have free will. And if it's going to present this new big thing to you, it's also going to make sure, hey, you can't stay on that old path if you want. Yeah. So something will come up that will like help you draw in more to the old way of thinking or the old path, just to make sure. Because
so
it's going to be a big change. How bad
do you want it? How serious do you want it?
Right.
So sometimes God in the universe, they're just working together to make sure you really want this. Because you have to be concrete, and you have to get rid of all fear and all doubt in your mind. And even if you have days where you have doubt, just an instant of no doubt can completely negate all of that. So you just have to be positive. You have to be thinking, okay, now I'm good to go. Everything is good. I'm positive, and I don't have any doubt. I'm meditating. I'm putting this time right now to make sure that I am putting out the most positive energy, the most positive affirmations in my brain, so that I know what I want and I declare it. Sometimes you have to declare it. If you want to be a millionaire, declare how much money you want to make. I want to make $10 million this year, right now. That's what I want. Don't sit there and say, well, I want to just get to $50,000 a year and then maybe I can. No, say what you want. I want 10 income streams of $10,000 and I want them every month. Okay, cool. That's what you want.
There's no difficulty in either way.
This is what I want, a full and utter healing, not an incomplete, not partially, full. Say what you actually want and what resonates in your soul. And once you do that, and once you get past the reflections, they can keep coming and coming 10, 15, 20 times. It really just depends on the situation. I've had times where I had reflections coming at me over and over and over and over again. And the entire time, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want. And then once it gets to a point of acceleration, it's going to go beyond you could have ever imagined, and quickly too.
Yeah, because that's why when these reflections mirrors come up, it's actually a really, really good sign. So please don't forget about this. Please keep it in mind. It's such a good sign because it means it's coming up, because once you do get past this, it's going to be an inevitable, really big leap, a really big change. So it's making sure that you do want to go there. So that's why perspective is absolutely everything. And you have to have your positive mindset first. You have to be meditating. Listen to the Han meditations. Yeah, it is so important. You write your affirmations. You got to do it, because when these mirrors come up, if you're thinking positively, if you're not thinking, oh, there it is, there's the reflection, that's a good sign. Yeah, that means this is about to happen. But if you're not thinking like that, you'll be thinking, oh,
look what happened.
It's not going to happen for me. This proves that it's worthless to try it out.
Exactly.
This is where I'm supposed to be.
And then it says, oh, well, I guess you're right. So as I said, once you get to the 1, 2, 3, 2, that's the reflection phase. That's the mirror phase where you're going to see it. And once you get past it, then you jump past 3 and up to 4. So one of the things you can do if you go back down to the 2, if you take a step back and feel like your energy's waning, if you feel like your vibratory plane isn't as high as it normally is, one of the things that you can do is you can start journaling, as Kelly said. You can start reading a positive book that you like. You can start listening to the Han meditations. Once you start putting these practices into practice, that is whenever things will start changing for the better. So if I feel like, hey, I just can't get out of this rut, I can't get out of this bad mood, I have this attitude, usually I can just snap out of it, but today I can't, I'm journaling for an hour. I have a 3-6-9 process that I'm writing down paragraphs over and over. I'll do that whole thing, and then I'll say it each time. I'll put that positive vibratory plane on every time I say it. Every word is intentional. Every feeling is intentional. I'll start manifesting. I'll start meditating. I'll start visualizing the end process and what I want, what my goals are going to be, and exactly how it's going to look.
Yeah.
Then once you do all that, then you're going to feel way better. And if you don't, just keep doing it, and I promise you, you will, and pretend that you feel better, and eventually you'll forget that you were even upset in the first place.
Yeah. Do all these things first, because you really don't want to give in to the negative vibration. But I know Han doesn't necessarily recommend this, but honestly, something that works for me if I have to is I might just take a nap.
Oh!
But listen, hear me out. Here's the thing. When we take a nap, our soul goes off. It goes off into the astral plane. It does work. It's getting connected in that. It's going back to its high vibration. It's doing work. It's doing its thing. And also your brain is going to rewire while you sleep. And honestly, almost every single time, if I'm in a mood or whatever, and I take a little nap, almost 9 times out of 10, I will honestly be better after that.
Really?
Yeah.
So when do I start to notice it after the nap?
After when I wake up.
That's not how it works for me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because I also feel better for my energy. It's not like instant, like, oh, I'm back. But I'll feel like, okay, do what I gotta do. I'll start doing stuff. And like, once you just kind of start getting into action and actually like doing things instead of just like moping around or whatever you're doing, you'll just start to think differently, and it'll just, okay.
I mean, real talk, that's a permission slip, meaning that you're just giving.
It's not for everyone. It might be bad, but it works for me.
Yeah, meaning you're just giving yourself permission to be your highest self. So I don't like to take naps. I like to get stuff done. So if I'm taking a nap, I feel like I'm being lazy, or, I mean, if I got all my work done and I got up super early, yeah, I'm going to take a nap. But it just depends. It depends on the person. I mean, you take naps. I didn't bother you. I let you take your nap. You know, I was just working for like 6 hours while you're sleeping, and then.
I mean, that was pretty extreme, honestly. Probably shouldn't have done that last nap.
I mean, if it made you feel
better. But it did
help
help in the end. It was just a little too long.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't even know you were sleeping. I didn't know you were sleeping the whole time. I was just working on like Han meditation videos and like content and all this and just getting, you know, phone calls and getting all the tedious things done that I needed to get done that day. And then before I knew it, it was like 6 o'clock and I was like, where's Kelly? And then I think by that point you're already up and going. So I'm exaggerating by saying 6 hours, but
yeah,
maybe.
So once you get over these things, if you can just see the perspective of love through everything, you will just truly see everything as good. Because if you can see it as a way for love to grow and to be expressed, then you'll just see it as a good thing.
Yeah, and I'm going to add on to that by saying, if you don't see things as certain things, or if you don't see people as certain things, then basically what you're saying is you're not recognizing God within them.
And it means you're not recognizing it within yourself.
Exactly. So if you don't see God within someone, then you're not seeing it within yourself. And that's whenever negativity and low vibratory energy and ego can come into play. Whenever you're just thinking, oh, this is bad, or I don't like this person, or, you know, whatever situation you're thinking, because I can honestly say I have love in my heart for everybody. People that I don't like at all, I really, truly wish them well. Mm-hmm. I wish them the best in the worst way. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, because love, in order to forgive, which is a huge thing we need to grow, you have to have big love.
Forgiveness in my heart with everybody.
Your heart is huge. This man has unbelievably big heart than anyone will ever know, and sees love more than anyone on this planet. I would truly argue that.
So it sounds crazy, but I really do love everybody. So
yeah,
it's like once it gets to the point where you have that much love in your heart, that's all you're talking about. That's all your mind is going to. That's all you're doing. You're trying to help everybody that you come into contact with. I'll be talking to my cousin for hours on the phone. He's telling me things. I want to help him the best I can. Like everybody I come into contact with, I really want to help them in the best way possible. So now if someone starts to become a detriment to your life, then okay, you can move forward. An energy
vampire.
Exactly. Then you can start cutting them off, moving forward, whatever. I'm not saying you got.
But you have.
I'm not saying you're forced to do.
You have
anything.
Discernment. Exactly. Very good discernment. So.
But yeah, but you can kind of tell once you get to a certain level, like this person's supposed to be here now, so we're gonna figure out what that's for, and keep going on through that process. But a lot of people shut out opportunities because of ego, and Kelly and I were talking about that before. A lot of people don't get as much money as they can because of ego. And a lot of people shut out certain people because of ego, because sometimes people think, what does this person offer me? What is this person going to tell me? And I really don't think that about anybody. I think everybody has something to offer me, because even if I'm talking to someone or I'm helping someone, I'm trying to see what works and what doesn't work. Because I already know in my head a list of things to do. I feel like I could fix people really good. Yeah. Like almost anybody, I could tell them, this is what you need to do.
You can.
You do this, and listen to me now. And it'll get done immediately.
But the only problem is they don't want to listen.
Yeah. So a lot of people.
Because they want to listen to their own ego.
Yeah, a lot of people have an ego and they don't want to listen. So
yeah, and
that's why I just can't wait to really help people and work with people that are like fans of the show, or they like us, and they're like, hey man, I like what you're saying, can you help me out? Yeah. And I'll be like, yeah, for sure, this is what we're gonna do, and you're gonna do this, this, and this. And then if they listen, oh man, their life will transform. Because I'm the kind of person, like we always have a hustle going, we always got something new going. So it's like it's crazy. That's why right now we're even in the process of moving to a new spot, because we're at the point
and we're like so excited.
We don't even like to be in the same place for too long at this point, because once you get to a certain level and once you've been through so much, Kelly just laid this out perfectly the other day, where she was saying, even just saying that you're in the same place physically and you've moved so much mentally, it's not a vibratorial match.
Exactly. Because obviously everything is energy, everything is vibration. So everything physical around you is putting off a vibration. And if you're growing, your vibration and these things are just stagnant, the same, it's just not going to be a vibratorial match.
Yeah.
And you're just going to be able to feel that you need to shift. You need to go somewhere else physically. You need to have a different surrounding that matches your new vibration. And that's why a bad attitude will literally block love and blessings and light from coming into your life. And it truly will. This is like a download I got recently.
You already say it, but when are you going to listen to it?
Really?
No, I'm joking. Yeah,
I'm about to get one right now.
Oh my God, guys, I'm literally joking, Kelly. Come on.
I'm joking too. So anyway, so we always talk about, everyone knows, raise your vibration. But in the literal sense, you need to do it. And when you're in a bad attitude, you're in a lower vibration. And these things are getting blocked because these things exist on a higher vibrational level.
Yep.
So they literally just can't reach you because let's just say a random scale. Okay. So let's say a human can reach 0 to 1,000 on the vibrational scale. Okay. Yep. And you are normally at a 500. Okay. And you get an attitude, you go down to 200. But these blessings and this love and this light exists at 700. So it's literally not going to reach you. And think about this. We think about sixth sense, right? We get a feeling, we get an intuition, a knowing. But let's think about our other senses, the literal 5 senses, right? Sight, sound, feeling. When you hear something, it's a sense, right? But how does it work? Things are bouncing off waves and you're able to interpret them through your eardrum. Things are putting out waves of gamma rays, infrared light.
How do you hear?
What do you mean?
How do you hear?
With your ear.
Yeah, but how?
You pick up on the wave, which is
your
a
eardrum
frequency.
Vibrates.
Oh.
So that's called a drum.
Oh. Wow. Yeah, so these are waves, right? Coming towards us and we're able to input them. And we're able to take them in. What are waves?
I hope that's correct because I said that so confidently.
I figured you knew it as a fact.
I did hear that, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, don't correct me. It's my ego talking.
So anyway, these things are putting off waves, right? As we know, there's the light spectrum, infrared, rainbow. I mean, not the rainbow, gamma waves, all these things. And so what are these waves, sound waves, all these things, right? It's a frequency. It's literally a vibration. That's what these waves are, vibration waves. So they're energy, right? But we don't see that as a weird thing. Oh, I'm taking in the energy of the sound. I'm taking the energy of the sight. But that's literally what it is. So these things like sixth sense, it's the same exact thing. These vibrational waves are all around us, but our vibration is not high enough to match with them in order for them to come in. So that's why when we say raise our vibration, if, again, going back to a scale of 0 to 1,000, we raise our vibration, we get to 900. Then once you get to 900, all of these other vibrations that exist at 900 get unlocked. So that's when you raise your vibration, more synchronicities happen, more sixth sense or whatever you want to call it is more existing, more angel numbers are coming in, more synchronicities because we're more in tune with them. So you're literally raising up the vibration and what you're a match for, or lowering it. And that's why you get knocked off from all these things when you lower. You lower yourself, you get in a bad attitude, and you block the love and blessings because they're too high for you. That's literally how it works.
Yeah, you can only understand what you're the vibrational match for. So if you're the vibrational match for anger, you can only see anger in that moment. We've all been extremely angry at one point or another. You can't see anything else. You can't see. You don't want to hear reason. You don't want to hear about love. All you see is red. All you see is anger. So we've all been at that level, and we all know that you can only see and understand what you're the vibration of. So if you're the vibration of love, that's all you see. And there's different vibratory levels. That's why in my meditation, if you guys should really be listening to these because they're so important. I mean, I listen to them because they help me so much and they're channeled. But I was saying, attach, I don't remember the exact words because it was channeled. Yeah. But basically what I was saying was, feel the vibration of abundance and money and then attach yourself to that vibration. Feel the vibration of health. Now attach yourself to that vibration. Because what you're doing whenever you're doing that is you're training your mind and you're training your reality to attach to a certain frequency in a certain vibratory plane. If you're attaching yourself to the vibratory plane, if you're attaching yourself to the vibratory plane of money and abundance, then that's what's going to constantly come in. And then you start thinking about that always and all days. As Kelly was saying earlier today, she was saying an affirmation and it goes something like, people love to pay me. Mm-hmm. And it was really awesome whenever she said that. And we've also been saying one that goes like, we're only available for health today. We're only available to make money today. We're only available for positivity at all times. So if you're only available for it, then guess what? That's all you're going to get. Because people need to realize, hey, I am only available for this. Because you don't want to say, hey, I don't want hate. I don't want to be poor. Because you're attracting that feeling and you're saying that. You're saying poor. You're saying hate. These are all vibratory words that have images in your mind that resonate with you in a negative way. So if you just say to yourself, I'm only available to be rich. I'm only available to have good luck. I'm only available to meet the perfect people in the perfect timing and the perfect reality. Then that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because that can only happen.
Exactly.
From that standpoint.
Exactly. And these couple affirmations, I actually got them from Amanda Francis. Should check her out. I used to listen to her a few years back, but I stopped. But I just recently started doing it again. And she's really, really awesome lady who talks all about just getting on the right vibration and how to attract money. Really, really good stuff. So check her out. I know sometimes as women, we like to hear advice from other women. It's just a nice kind of match of frequency to hear it from another feminine energy. So she gives really, really good stuff if you want even more advice about manifesting money, but wanted to give credit where credit's due with that. But these things are really, really good. And one quick thing about money. One more quick thing about money is that a lot of times when we're thinking about pricing our own services or selling something, we're always thinking about it from the customer's perspective that, oh, they're going to be thinking like, I got to give this up in order to get it. But I don't think that's true at all. There is a huge vibrational thing going on with the customer on that side too. Like I know for me, times where I bought something really expensive, it truly raised my vibration. It felt so good. I'm like, yes, I did this. Look what I did. I worked hard. I earned this. I raised my vibration so much that I earned this much. And now look what I'm buying. And then for example, the most expensive thing I ever bought was a Louis Vuitton suitcase. And it felt so exciting to purchase it. And then when I roll it around in the airport, it feels so high vibration because it just feels so good that I was able to imagine something I wanted for myself and it's just aligned. So a lot of times people will buy something and they really do feel even better because they purchase it. So be thinking people love to pay me. It's good for them too. It's not a bad thing. It's good for them just that it is good for you.
Yeah. And you said people are thinking from the perspective of the customer. They're not thinking from the perspective of the customer. They're thinking from the perspective of themselves if they had to pay for something like that, but they're not thinking from the customer's perspective because you never know. There's plenty of people out there that are ready to pay enormous prices for a lot of different things. So you have to attach yourself in that vibratory plane and realize that people want to pay. They want to pay a lot of money for a lot of different services, a lot of different goods.
And they love it.
Exactly. As Kelly said, paying a lot of money for a bag. to keep your clothes in. I mean, you could have them in a trash bag and show up. It's just not necessary.
And to some people, it sounds ridiculous. Some people, it sounds like the most amazing thing in the world.
Yeah. So and that's what goes into when we said people want different things. You can't just think everybody wants what I want. Oh, there's only such a small amount of thinking in a scarcity mindset. You can't think in a scarcity mindset. You have to think in a abundance mindset. There's more than enough. You can't be jealous of someone because they have the bag you want. You can't be jealous because someone has the house you want, the car you want. Mm-hmm. You have to be thinking there's more than enough to go around. I can easily attain what they attain. That's why we're saying all the information that we have and giving it away for free, because we could be sitting there and say, I'm not going to tell people this. I'm not going to tell people how I achieve this, how I achieve that. I don't want people to know because I need it. I need it. I want to keep this to myself. We don't think like that. We think there's more than enough going at all times, and we're growing. We want other people to grow with us. It only makes sense to us, but certain people are just such in a negative spot, in a negative place, that all they can think is scarcity because that's what they've been taught and that's what they've been living their entire life. They haven't even allowed themselves to dream. Some people haven't even allowed themselves to dream and think, hey, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is what I'm going to get. Because in the last podcast, we talked about desire versus want. Desire versus want is a very different vibratory plane. Want is something that you don't have, something that you want. You want to have it, but you don't have it. Desire is saying, I'm going to get what I want no matter what. I'm going to get it. Desire is almost already having it. I have it within my mind. That's how I know I'm going to get it in the physical reality. And I promise you, if you can see something in your mind, then you can get it in reality. So thank you guys for being with us. If you had anything else to say, you can. But thank you guys for being with us. We love you guys. We're growing with you. We're expanding. If you're listening to us now, then this is the perfect time. Share the video. Watch the video. Watch us on Spotify. Listen to us on YouTube and all platforms.
Thank you so much. If what we're saying resonates or helps you at all, please just go ahead and let us know. It is better for us more than you know. That didn't come out right, but it means more to us than you know. That's what I meant to say. So thank you so much for listening, and we appreciate you.
All right.